Hey, it's Kasey Orr and Sean Whitfield with iTruckTV.com. It's time for your NASCAR update, and we're going to get you up to speed. Sean Whitfield and Kasey Orr for Valvoline Racing Radio on Rock 105, and this is iTruckTV.com. We are keeping you up to speed, which means we're talking about the only night race of the chase, the Bank of America 500 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Exciting last-minute duel between Brad Keselowski and Kasey Kahne, but at the end of the night, not a lot of points changed.
That's right. We had the top 7 remain the same in the drivers' standings, and of course, the pressure continues to heat up with those chase drivers. We've only got 5 more races to go coming up this weekend as we head to Talladega.
Halfway through the chase, that's pretty scary, but I tell you what, I do like the fact that as much as we talk about chase drivers, and listen, that's what the chase is. It's the playoffs. You're going to talk about the playoff teams. It was great to see Brad Keselowski, who is not racing for anything in the chase. He's last year's champion, didn't make the chase this year. To see his team be able to put it all together and to see he and Kasey Kahne go back and forth and duel the way they did late in the race, I thought that was great for the number 2 team. And these are the kind of wins that, well, they remind you can win, and they give you a little something to build on for next year.
That's true. And of course, we've all been very, very surprised that Brad Keselowski has not had a win since 2012, especially when he was our 2012 Sprint Cup champion. So for that race team to come in before the season's out and end up in victory lane was a good momentum builder to try to get things turned around for 2014.
Yeah, and it just seemed like on a weekend that was destined to be another Hendrick victory, Jeff Gordon wins the Coors Light pole, Kasey Kahne was fast, Jimmy Johnson was fast until a late race restart. Hey, Dale Earnhardt Jr. led laps and was really fast. Even Junior. So I think for the number 2 team to bounce back and win the race in that fashion, that was a pretty big deal.
All right, let's get into the results of the race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Bank of America 500. Of course, this was Brad Keselowski's 10th victory in 156 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races. This is his 13th top 10 finish in 2013, and this is his first victory and second top 10 finish in 9 races at Charlotte Motor Speedway. In second spot, we had Kasey Kahne. Third, Matt Kenseth. Fourth was Jimmy Johnson. Fifth, Kyle Busch. Sixth, Kevin Harvick. Seventh, Jeff Gordon, and he was on the Coors Light pole. Eighth, Ryan Newman. Ninth, Denny Hamlin. And 10th, Carl Edwards.
Other notables and chase drivers. Clint Bowyer finished in 11th. Kurt Busch 14th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 15th. Greg Biffle 16th. Joey Logano in 18th. Sean Danica Patrick finished a disappointing 20th.
That's not disappointing.
Well, you're never disappointed in her.
If you can get a top 20 for Danica, I think that's a good night.
And we have to say it was first career start for Kyle Larson. He finished 37th, but Sean actually had a wonderful night in the top 15, hanging with the big boys, but then he had an engine go out. So it was an impressive debut for Kyle Larson in the number 51.
I certainly agree with that one. Of course, there were 4 caution flags for 20 laps and 24 lead changes among 11 drivers.
But it's just like you said, not a big shakeup in the points. The points, really, they kind of look just like they did last week.
That's right. And, of course, as we leave Charlotte and head to Talladega, the points of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series stack up like this. We've got Matt Kenseth leading. He is 4 points ahead of second place Jimmy Johnson. In third's Kevin Harvick. He's 29 points behind the leader. Jeff Gordon in 4th. Kyle Busch in 5th. 6th is Greg Biffle. 7th, Kurt Busch. And then this is where things start to change a little bit from last week. Clint Bowyer in 8th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 9th. Carl Edwards 10th. Joey Logano 11th. Ryan Newman 12th. And Kasey Kahne rounds out the chase.
Last week, Sean, the top 7 drivers were all within 48 points. Now only the top 5 drivers, and that's 5th place Kyle Busch, 37 points behind leader Matt Kenseth. Jimmy Johnson still nipping at his heels at 4 points. So 5 drivers still within striking distance, and now we get ready to go to Talladega, where we know anything can happen.
That's right, and it's known throughout the chase as the wild card race. And you're right, Kasey, it's a race that a lot of NASCAR fans refer to the race that can have the big one. And when you have the big one, anybody could go down. It's being at the right place at the right time, and certainly not at the wrong place at the wrong time.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and I think the real strategy to watch in the race coming up, Sean, are these guys that have a lot to lose. These Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, do they spend their time with teammates around the back avoiding trouble, or do they get to the front, which is the only place you can really control your destiny? I think that's going to be interesting to watch.
Of course, this is our 4th restrictor plate race of the season. Talladega is one of 2 tracks that is a restrictor plate race. Clean air and finding the right partners are critical at Talladega Superspeedway. That does it for this week's Up to Speed on iTruckTV.com. You can catch us each and every Monday and Thursday on Valvoline Racing Radio on Rock 105 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and you can catch us there on iHeartRadio if you're outside the East Tennessee area. That does it for us. Up to Speed on iTruckTV.com.
Right here on the NASCAR update at iTruck TV, where Sean and I keep you up to speed.